morning. Could everybody please rise for the presentation of the colors?
Reason.
I'd like to invite Maria Wardwell up to sing the national anthem. Please remain standing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I'd like to invite Rabbi Samuel Blumberg from Temple Beth Am in Framingham to offer an opening prayer.
This morning we pray. God, in a world where despair and loneliness reign, bless our gathering. In a world full of hurt and distrust, help us find peace. In a world where algorithms and echo chambers aim to keep us apart, let us celebrate difference. Let us hear one another. In a world of scarcity, we give thanks for our bounty. In a world where concern for tomorrow and cynicism take deep root, let us look at our youth this morning and see only limitless potential. May God bless these students who are our future. With them at the helm, tomorrow is brighter. There's nothing to fear. Vihi noam Adonai Eloheinu aleinu, u'ma'aseh yadenu konena aleinu, u'ma'aseh yadenu konenehu. May God's favor be upon us. May the work of our hands prosper. Let us say, Amen.
Please remain standing while we retire the colors.
Colors. Right. Peace. Forward.
Please be seated. Good morning. Welcome to the 32nd Annual Alliance for MetroWest Unity Breakfast. My name is Betsy Soule, and I'm a member of the Alliance's Board of Directors. Welcome to our student honorees, their parents, and their teachers, All of you have played an integral part in helping these students on their journey and arriving at this place today where we will celebrate their achievements. I want to acknowledge that our president, Bob Anspa, who always serves as the MC for this breakfast, is recovering from a medical procedure and is unable to join us. I'll do my best to replicate his enthusiasm and joy at celebrating the accomplishments of our award winners and the winner of the Nancy King Award. However, I will not be able to do justice to the jokes he tells. If you're watching, Bob, get better soon. We miss you. I also want to acknowledge some special guests this morning, including the president of Framingham State University, Dr. Nancy Niemi, Susan Nickel from Senate President Karen Spilka's office, and Mariana from State Representative Jack Lewis's office. Thank you also to Judge David Kunis, the first Justice of the Framingham District Court, Deputy Chief Sean Riley from the Framingham Police Department, Natick Police Chief James Hicks, and Jeffrey Coleman, Vice President and Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer of Framingham State, for participating in the awards presentation. I would now like to invite Kathy Garrahan to the podium. Kathy's father was the architect of this breakfast so many years ago, and Kathy has proudly carried on his vision and passion for celebrating student achievements in diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Good morning, everyone. 32 years ago this week, the Alliance for MetroWest Unity invited the community for the first time to celebrate leaders in diversity and welcome their families, friends, schools, and community supporters. Today, as we gather once again, we reflect upon and celebrate unity, equity, inclusion, anti-discrimination, and the leadership that helps inspire these values in others. Since that inaugural event, we have had the privilege of meeting approximately 490 student leaders. And today, our program honors the MetroWest leaders selected for 2024. Patrick, Catherine, Miranda, Reese, Ashika, Olympia, Ananya, Anna, Javier, Jasmine, Shaylee, Ikra, and Angelica. To each of you, we extend a warm welcome and express our deep pride in your achievements. As you stand on the cusp of completing your high school journey and stepping into adulthood, know that you have already made significant transformations within your schools and communities. Though you hail from different MetroWest high schools, you are united by your dedication to treating others with respect and dignity and paving the way for others to do the same. Your leadership has not gone unnoticed. You were nominated by your schools for the impactful ways in which you make the world a safer and more inclusive place. Your efforts are crucial in our world today. Allow me to highlight just a few examples of the remarkable work you have undertaken. Patrick, Reese, Olympia, Jasmine, and Ikra, you have each worked tirelessly to raise awareness and dismantle stereotypes within your schools and communities. Ashika, your leadership regarding hate crimes has had a profound impact on your school and beyond. Catherine, Anna, Shaylee, Miranda, and Angelica, your commitment to mentoring and fostering community and equality within your schools has created a positive environment for all while you model positive actions for future leaders. Javier, your dedication to guiding the next generation towards opportunities on and off the athletic field is truly commendable. And Ananya, your advocacy for others by teaching evidence-based tools and practices with persons of all ages with disabilities and health challenges exemplifies the transformative power of leadership. Each of you has embarked on a journey to shape a better future, utilizing your talents and energy to bring creative change. As all of you peruse the program books at your table, you will find more detailed accounts of each honoree's story of leadership, and later this morning, you will hear from them directly. 2024 honorees, would you please briefly stand if you are able, so that we may commend you for your compassion, your ability to inspire others, and your unwavering commitment to building a community based on inclusion, equity, and respect. Thank you. Let us also take a moment to recognize and congratulate the parents, guardians, and families of our awardees for their invaluable support and encouragement. Additionally, let us acknowledge the teachers, counselors, and school staff who have played pivotal roles in nurturing these young leaders. I'm reminded today of my father, John Garrahan, whose legacy of compassion and inclusivity continues to inspire me. He would have been honored to meet each of you and would have embraced the opportunity to learn from your experiences. His spirit, along with that of our other beloved founding members who are no longer with us, is here as we celebrate your achievements. Brought forward to today, the current steering committee for this event is a hardworking group who I am honored to work with. Their names appear in your programs, and I invite those able to stand to be recognized and thanked. Thank you. As Betsy mentioned, a special shout out goes to Bob Ansbach for his leadership, and we look forward to him being back with us next year. Thank you again to our honorees for your leadership, and thank you to everyone present for sharing this special event. Many of you come every year, and we hope those of you attending for the first time might make this an annual event. I will mention that we are always open to new volunteers, and if you are interested, please speak to one of the committee before you leave today. And now, I invite Attorney Betsy Soule, who serves as Executive Director of MetroWest Legal Services, to return to the podium to present the 2024 Nancy King Award.
Thanks, Kathy. This morning, I'm pleased to present the 2024 Nancy King Award to Wayside Youth and Family Support Network. The Nancy King Award was established in 2009 in memory of one of the original members of the MetroWest Community Prayer Breakfast Steering Committee. Nancy served as the Executive Director at MetroWest Legal Services for 31 years before her passing in 2007. Nancy embodied the values of the Alliance for MetroWest Unity, this breakfast, and all the students being honored today. She dedicated her professional life to equal access to justice for those unable to afford it. She loved hearing the students' speeches and was moved by their accomplishments, and I know she would be if she were here today. The Wayside Youth and Family Support Network provides a wide variety of mental health counseling and family support services to children, young adults, and families in Massachusetts. Wayside's mission is empowering children, young adults, and families to achieve greater independence and emotional well-being. Wayside's story began in 1977 when a group of citizens formed one of the first residences in New England for runaway and homeless youth in Framingham, the Harbinger House. As the need for alternatives to orphanages, reform schools, and psychiatric hospitals grew, Wayside responded by expanding to include an array of services which support youth and families in their community. In 2009, the Wayside Framingham campus was built, which provides many different levels of care in one site, from short-term hospital diversion to residential education. The Wayside campus was designed to be a safe, secure, and welcoming environment. Developed with the needs of adolescents in mind, they provide the ideal balance between intensive care and the social and recreational benefits of a campus setting. The facility has 6 residential homes, each with living space for 12 teens, on-site nursing and psychiatric care, a library, a gym, and a sports field. The campus serves youth from across Massachusetts. Wayside has a strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, anti-racism, social justice, and advocacy. 5 goals guide them in fulfilling their mission: creating trust, having courageous conversations, increasing social capital, applying an equity lens, and measuring data and holding ourselves accountable. Wayside took all that it had learned and started the Wayside Equity Training Center in 2021. The center supports nonprofit leaders, senior management, supervisors, employees, and board members in creating an organization-wide approach to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Their model includes training, culture building, and metrics, as well as a focus on accountability. Ultimately, their work supports the evolution of an anti-racist nonprofit sector. Their mission is to empower organizations to advance equity. Here to accept the 2024 Nancy King Award is Wayside's Executive Director and CEO, Sarah McCabe, who I invite up to get the award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I want to, on behalf of Wayside, want to thank the Alliance for MetroWest Unity. I know that I'm not alone in saying this. We don't do this work for the recognition. It's very humbling, and it's an honor to be here with all of you. We know at Wayside that individuals can't heal in isolation. It really takes a commitment to making sure that that there's equitable communities first and foremost. And so that is our work, and it's a lifelong commitment to that work. It never stops. We never arrive. We keep going and we keep learning. And so I appreciate being here with all of you. This is a tremendous honor. Thank you so much.
Would the presenters please join us on stage for the presentation of the awards? We're just getting everybody lined up out back. Bear with us for a second. All right, I think we're in good shape, so I would like to now introduce the Honorable David Kunis, First Justice of the Framingham District Court, who is going to read the names of the students as they come up and accept their award. Judge Kunis.
Thanks, Betsy. Just congratulations to all the recipients and to their families as well who are here today. I just always make two observations at this event every year, and that's if you want to stay out of my court, a little bit of advice is your family. I mean, families are so important. Strong families supporting youth goes a long way in keeping people out of court, out of trouble. I see young people in my court every day. We're not a juvenile court, but 18 and up. And one thing I always notice is when they come to court, they never have anybody with them to support them. Very rare that they have family. Sometimes, but not always. And family is so important. And also, something else I see in this room is service to others, putting others before yourselves, thinking of others, because that's important. That brings you happiness in life, and that makes your life complete. One of my favorite quotes, in the evening of life, we'll be judged on love, and that's really what service is all about, is showing that love to others. And I know these young people have practiced that in their high school years, and I wish them the best in the years to come. Okay. Okay. As a person who his last name gets butchered regularly, I sympathize with people when names are mispronounced. I'm going to do my very best. So if I do mispronounce your name, please forgive me. And we're going to start off with from Algonquin Regional High School, Patrick Biamu. The speech is now or later? Later. Yeah. Okay. From Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School, Catherine Tovar. Congratulations. From Dover Sherburne High School, Miranda Savla. From Framingham High School, Reese Davies. From Holliston High School, Ishika Gandhi. Oh, give it the wrong one there. All righty. Should get the right. Here you go. Congratulations. Get it all? It's good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. From Hopkinton High School, Olympia Deisenroth. From Hopkinton High School, Ananya Kumar. From Keefe Regional Technical High School, Anna Prado.
Anyways,
What's that?
We'll announce it anyways.
Okay. Okay. From the Learning Center for the Deaf, I believe he's not here today, but it's Xavier De Leon. Lincoln Sudbury Regional High School, Jasmine Marie Rice. Okay. From Marlborough High School, Shaylee Cifuentes Ortiz. And from Natick High School, Iqua Farah. Congratulations. And from St. Mark's School, Angelica Duarte. You're all set? Okay, thank you. One more round of applause for our recipients.
It's not good when your pages get out of order. Okay. Kathy, would you like to join me? We're now going to ask the students to speak. What we've asked them to speak about is what diversity, equity, and inclusion means to them. I would ask everybody except Patrick to sit down, and we'll call folks up one by one. But the first person that's going to speak is Patrick Biamu from Algonquin Regional High School.
When I was younger, the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion always resonated with me, but in somewhat abstract ways. It wasn't until I grew older that I came to understand their profound importance and personal significance in a much deeper sense. To me, diversity is about recognizing and celebrating the richness found in our differences, the different cultures, backgrounds, perspectives, and identities that make each of us unique. True inclusion isn't just about tolerating those differences, but actively embracing them, seeking them out, learning from them, and finding powerful connections that transcend dividing lines. Equity means ensuring fair treatment, access, opportunity, and advancements for all people, while striving to eliminate barriers that prevented the full participation of underrepresented or marginalized groups. It's about disrupting systemic biases and injustices and consciously leveling playing fields that have been so warped for far too long. I became passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion because as I grew up, I saw firsthand how much they were lacking in the world around me. I witnessed friends and peers facing discrimination, hostility, and unfair treatment simply for being who they are. It was profoundly painful to watch, and it sparked an intense conviction that we must do much better as a society. Rather than just wishing for things to be different or waiting for change to happen, gradually, I realized that each of us have to take action and lead the change that we need. That realization is what prompted me to start the club, Unity Beyond Differences, a movement dedicated to celebrating our differences, our diversity, and fighting for equity and justice, and fostering true inclusion that builds authentic connections across all people. True diversity, equity, and inclusion must become deeply ingrained values that we fight for each day through our individual actions, institutional policies, and mindsets. It's an ongoing journey and lifelong commitment to create a reality where differences is embraced, where opportunity is equal, and where every person feels a true sense of solidarity and belonging. I'm committed to that vital journey, and I'm so grateful to all who have guided me, supported me, and joined me in this most worthy cause of creating diversity, equity, and inclusion that our world so desperately needs. Thank you.
And now we'd like to ask Catherine to come up. Catherine Tovar from Aspet Valley Regional Technical High School.
Hello everyone, my name is Catherine Tovar. I'm a junior at Aspet Regional Technical High School. First, I would like to give a big thank you for all of you guys being here and taking this time. I would like to give thanks to my guidance counselor, even though he is not present here today. I'd like to thank him for guiding me and bringing me here into this opportunity. So, we were asked to give a speech on what diversity, equity, and inclusion meant to us, to me. I want to share some thoughts about this. We are in a world where we are so different, but so similar. We all seek the same basic things. We are all human and make mistakes. There's many differences among people, from our culture all the way to our abilities. And that's what makes us unique. Being able to embrace our differences, and even though we may not be in agreement, we respect one another. Equity is defined by being fair to give what people need. Equity is fairness to all groups, to include, to embrace all people, and give a safe space to people and let them be their authentic self. And it is always respected and welcomed. And final thoughts, I believe we are meant to expand our knowledge, to bring everyone together. I know that we learn things and we're not meant to fit into a room, we're meant to create a bigger room. We tend to just stay in this small space when we're supposed to create more. Give positive testimony of ourselves by how we interact with others, and leading by example. Thank you again for this award.
I'd like to invite Miranda Savla from Dover Sherburne High School.
I'm really delighted to be here this morning. It's show week at my district's middle school, and this is a welcome reprieve from all the student directing I've been doing. The play we're putting on is The Jungle Book, an adaptation of Rudyard Kipling's story of Mowgli the Jungle Boy. When my director pitched this play last spring, I was a little anxious. I mean, there's not much that says situal awareness like a story about India written by a British imperialist. But tomorrow, I get to watch my cast perform a show I am truly excited to see, decked out in traditional Indian clothing. And that's sort of a reflection of the type of diversity inclusion that means the most to me, the subtle ways we can incorporate our identities into our everyday lives. So much of what I try to do as a director centers around my belief that theater should be a place for everyone. Not only that, but theater should be a place where everyone has a chance to see themselves in the stories they put on. And that's not just an element of picking a part of a show or of any endeavor and going, look, diversity. It's about a consistent attitude of you belong here. It's a promise that your leaders are here to support you no matter what skills or level of ability you come with. It's the flexibility of, sure, those characters can be gay if you want. The beauty of our costuming tomorrow is not just that our kids get to wear such gorgeous and narratively relevant outfits. It's the fact that I pitched this idea as some offhand inspiration, and our director, costumer, parent volunteers, and town community immediately embraced it. It's that I get to see such an important part of my identity represented on stage simply because the leaders around me wanted to support me. That's all it is. Being inclusive leaders is not just about the individual and explicit decisions to seem like we care, but a genuine want to support those around us. That's the kind of diversity, equity, inclusion that has fostered my love for theater, and it's the kind of effort I try to put in to do the same for my students. Thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. And now we'd like to invite Reese Davies from Framingham High School to come to the podium.
Hi, my name is Reese Davies, and I am the Secretary and Treasurer of Framingham High School's Gender Sexuality Alliance, and I have been for 3 years now. You'll probably see me speaking at Framingham's annual Pride Flag raising this year, like I have for the previous two, alongside some very cool and important people in the greater MetroWest community, which is always a little intimidating. And I'm sure to a lot of the other awardees and a lot of teenagers here, this event also feels pretty intimidating. There's so many different schools here, and there are so many different schools grouped, and I'm sure a lot of us, if not all of us, are sitting next to people that we have never seen, never met before. And this gives us an excellent opportunity, the opportunity to look at the plates of the people next to us and question why they didn't get any watermelon and only got pineapple. Or to look at, or we can, sorry, my bad. But it also gives us the way more kind opportunity to look at those same plates and know that while you'll probably never know every single thing those people have been through, you two could at least agree on getting the eggs. Community is a lot like that, and it's something that I strive to focus on. Incorporating diversity, inclusion, and equity in community is something that has been my main goal in all 3 years of my serving as a treasurer and secretary at the GSA. Whether community forms because of mere proximity, shared interests, or shared identity, no two people within a community are going to be the same. And in this way, our communities are undoubtedly and unavoidably diverse. Diversity therein is inherent and inseparable from community. But it's the voices that we choose to spotlight and the people we choose to accept and celebrate that makes for true diversity. To me, diversity means nothing without inclusion. But inclusion doesn't just stop at having people different to you nearby. Inclusion is showing those people that you see them, showing them that they're a little less alone. We can do this first by listening to people. We can listen to people's unique experiences, and we can find a way to help this community better serve them instead of isolating them. Regardless of whether or not they're actively serving the community or even just coincidentally inside of it, creating that communication allows for a community to do what it does best, support people in their time of need. The world can be a very scary place. Identity is inherently politicized, and it can make existing in your own body feel very scary sometimes. Times like those are where community and diversity are needed the most, because I'm sure we've all felt to some extent like a kettle about to boil a little too hot. Creating spaces where people feel listened to leads to spaces where people feel supported and where less hurt can be done. The more diverse our communities are, the more people we can aim to include, and in doing so, the more people we can support. After all, what's the point of community if not to support people? Ultimately, diversity is this weird, intangible thing to me that I only think of in terms of community. But diversity means nothing to me without inclusion, and inclusion means nothing without communication and support. In the same way, though, community means nothing to me without diversity, because a non-diverse community means an exclusionary one. It's up to everybody here, whether we are community leaders, participants within the community, or just somebody's sister from out of state who wanted to come and support their sibling, to ensure that our communities have these things, that inclusion, that diversity, that communication, that support. Community, dare I say, is a community effort, and we can make our spaces feel just a little safer for everybody involved with it.
Thank you, Reese. I'd like to invite Ishika Gandhi from Holliston High School up.
Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and distinguished colleagues, I stand before you today to celebrate 3 big words: diversity, inclusion, and equity. But before I dive into the deep end of this pool of profoundness, let me address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm talking about the little voice in your head going on. Isn't this supposed to be a TED Talk? Isn't this supposed to be an award ceremony, not a TED Talk? Well, hold your coffee cups, because I promise you this won't be your average run-of-the-mill monologue. First off, let's talk diversity. Now, I view diversity like a box of assorted chocolates. You never know what you'll get, but you'll know it'll be deliciously different. We're not just talking about the usual suspects here. Diversity is about embracing the kaleidoscope of backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences that make us all wonderfully unique. It's like a potluck dinner. You never know what culinary masterpieces Auntie Divya and Auntie Shashi will bring to the table, but you know it'll spice things up. Now, inclusion is like the ultimate party host. That'll be my dad. You know, the one who makes sure everyone's got a drink in their hand or a spot on the dance floor, regardless of their dance moves? It's about creating a space where everyone feels like they belong, where their voices are not just heard, but valued. Because let's face it, nobody likes being the third wheel at the party. Last but certainly not least, we've got equity. It's about ensuring that everyone has an equal opportunity to partake in this deliciousness of the party, regardless of their background or circumstances. Now, I'm not saying life is always fair. I mean, who decided that somebody can have unlimited pizza while the other one has to count their calories as if it's their part-time job? But equity is about leveling the playing field, giving everyone a fair chance at success. Whether you're a straight A student or just trying to survive AP chemistry without blowing up the lab again, many refer to my family as multicultural. Picture this. My maternal grandmother came from East Africa, Kenya. My paternal grandparents migrated from Pakistan to India at the time of partition. And both my parents studied and settled in the USA, which makes my sister and I second-generation immigrants. But I love the craziness of this family. So, my friends, as we navigate this crazy journey called life, let's remember the power of diversity, inclusion, and equity. Let's celebrate our differences, embrace our similarities, and build a world where everyone gets a seat at the table and a chance to dance like nobody's watching, even if they are. In closing, I sincerely want to thank my school for nominating me, my teachers, friends, and family for supporting me in all my endeavors, and special thanks to Miss Mont, Miss Arnold, and Mrs. Frost and my family for being here this morning. I am deeply grateful for the Leadership Committee for running the Signature Program to encourage and empower high school students. I appreciate your trust and confidence in me and assure you I will keep this organization's flag flying high. Thank you, and may your lives be as diverse, inclusive, and equitable as a well-stocked buffet. Cheers.
Thank you, Ashika. And now we'd like to invite Olympia Dysenroth from Hopkinton High School to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Olympia Dysenroth from Hopkinton High School, and I'm extremely honored and excited to have been chosen as a recipient of such an amazing award. Throughout my life, I've realized what I enjoy doing most, which is making a positive impact on others' lives. It has always been my goal to make others feel included and welcomed in whatever community I am in. Specifically, I have found a deep passion in working with the Special Olympics community. What I do in each activity is not nearly as important as how I've been positively affected and the way in which I interact with the world around me as a result. I participate in 3 key activities that have impacted my life and helped me to find this passion. These 3 programs are called Top Soccer, Best Buddies, and the Youth Activation Council, also known as YAC. Top Soccer teaches intellectually and cognitively challenged athletes from the ages of about 4 to about 13 how to play soccer. During each of the practices, it is wonderful to see so many of their kids enjoying their time so much and truly learning more about the sport while walking away in the end with big smiles. Whenever I leave Top Soccer, I am incredibly fulfilled, and it is awesome to see the joy in each of the athletes. It is the little things like when they all get the opportunity to score and celebrate that one can see how important this is to each of them. I have also become one of the co-presidents of my high school's Best Buddies program. The mission of this program is to pair special ed kids with buddies and be involved in various activities and inclusive events throughout the year. This has helped me to make so many genuine friendships. Last week, I attended the Best Buddies prom, which was a magical event. Everyone felt a strong sense of community and got to showcase their talents on the dance floor. The inclusivity is great for the students in Best Buddies and makes a better community at our school. So if your school has a Best Buddies program that you are not already in, I highly recommend you join it. The next amazing organization that I've been able to be a part of is Youth Activation Council. This is a group of students from all around Massachusetts who work to spread the message around Special Olympics inclusion and knowledge around the state and region. YAC is made up of about 15 students, some athletes and some buddies. We plan and host summits which we present to different schools. We discuss a variety of components surrounding the messages of inclusivity and acceptance and how to improve upon positive changes throughout schools, sports, and beyond. The ability to spread more information about these topics has provided opportunities to other students attending these summits. YAC also goes to leadership conferences to continually learn how to inspire our communities and present to others in the hopes of the messages reaching as many people as possible. All of these organizations that I've gotten the opportunity to be a part of are such fun and wonderful experiences, and I have learned a lot from them. There are 3 main things I've learned that I want to share with all of you about inclusion that may help in your communities. First, I have learned that just because someone might be intellectually different, physically different, or different from you in any way does not mean you can't be great friends. As a matter of fact, I have one of my really good friends here with me today named Jacob, and we have been amazing friends since about 4th grade. Jacob and I will be heading to the Youth Activation Council Summit directly after our breakfast this morning. Jacob, if you want to give us a wave. The next thing that I learned is that there's true joy in including others. Oftentimes, when people think of including someone, they may possibly tend to think of it as something they have to do, when really so much about inclusion is that they get to do it. The last key takeaway I want everybody to come out of here with is that everyone's differences really aren't so different. Everybody just wants to feel loved, appreciated, and included, which are common feelings we all share. This makes us all more similar than we think. The little gestures and kindnesses make such an impact in others' lives. I thank you for making an impact in my life by honoring me today. I also want to thank and congratulate my fellow recipients for all that they have done for our broader communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Olympia. Next up is Ananya Kumar from Hopkinton High School.
Hello everyone, my name is Ananya Kumar and I am a junior at Hopkinton High School. I would first like to express deep gratitude to my teachers and administrators who nominated me for this award, especially Mr. Zanini, who wrote the nomination. I would also like to thank the event coordinators who created this event. It is such a privilege to be here alongside inspiring individuals who are committed to improving diversity, equity, and inclusion in their communities and in society. It is so important to create sustainable ways to foster diversity, equity, and inclusion. It just creates stronger, resilient environments. It makes the world a much happier, fulfilling place. Diversity, in my experience, can be applied to many different contexts and can have many different meanings. I'd like to briefly share a story that highlights this idea. One core value that I have developed over the last few years has been inclusivity, and not just as it relates to race, ethnicity, religion, sex orientation, or place of origin alone, but also for neurodiverse individuals and those with physical and mental challenges. This group is often overlooked, especially in the field of yoga and mindfulness. I have been a yoga teacher for the past 3 years, teaching yoga to a diverse subset of people, from children to young adults to the oldest adults, and I have often followed the yoga curriculum as it was taught to me in my training. However, nowhere in my teacher training was it mentioned how to accommodate and modify yoga postures for those with disabilities to make it accessible to them. When I first went to teach chair yoga at the Ledges, a home for those physically and mentally challenged, I had prepared a rigorous class plan ranging from the postures I would teach to the mindfulness exercises that I would conduct. As I began teaching this class, I realized that this typical class plan wouldn't be possible, and so therefore I had to make some changes. But I am so grateful that this happened. The group of people at the Ledges are now one of my favorite groups of people to teach yoga to. This experience allowed me to find a passion in expanding yoga and mindfulness to all groups of people, regardless of their ability to do any posture. This is because yoga is not about a certain pose or a picture, but rather the journey it takes to get there, no matter what that journey might look like. Everybody should be able to reap the benefits of calming their mind and the body. And this is also especially ironic as the meaning of yoga is unity. So one of my biggest passions is finding ways to implement diversity in our community. And in my experience as a member of the Student Voices Committee for the DEI Committee at my school, I work to promote DEI values in our own school environment by fostering social connections and hearing directly from students about what diversity means to them. From this, I gather that diversity is not just about including others, but actively making them feel included, creating a sense of community. DEI values are not just checkboxes to be checked off, but rather they are values that characterize the community and the people within. I hope to continue to foster inclusion and equity in my society and make diversity the norm. Congratulations to my fellow recipients, and thank you all so much for this award.
Thank you, Ananya. Now we'd like to ask Ana Prado from Keefe Regional Technical High School to join us at the podium.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ana Prado. I go to Keefe Technical Regional High School. Sorry. I want to start off with giving a round of applause to my fellow peers. You guys have done so much to get to this point. So. I want to also thank Ms. Sanchez over there, and I want to thank my guidance counselor, Ms. Suarez, who unfortunately is not here tonight. I don't even know, for nominating me for this award, and most importantly, my mom, because I would never be here without her. It's easy for me to explain diversity being a Brazilian female in a male-dominated trade of the electrical field. Daily, women in the trades like myself find them in difficult positions due to all sorts of harassment. Thankfully, due to Keefe Tech and my amazing shop teachers who unfortunately aren't here, Mr. Henningsen and Mr. Webb, I'm not standing here telling you today my bad experiences. Instead, I'm here to shed light on what I do to make sure that the next generation of women coming through don't have to experience the worst of it. Coming in this vocation, I had no clue what to expect. I was just a 15-year-old girl who thought electricity was cool and that it would be rough with the boys. Joining the shop, I constantly had the dilemma in my head. What are the teachers going to think of me? How are the kids going to treat me? Luckily, when I stepped into the shop, I realized, wow, these guys are really cool. Of course, I deal with occasional woman jokes, but overall, I'm just another electrician. I'm able to show the other girls that this occupation is open to them, too. That opportunities are available to them, and the doors are not closed in their dreams. Keefe Tech embraced my diversity and my choices, and now I can share those with the world around me. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I'd like to call Jasmine Rice from Lincoln Sudbury Regional High School up to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jasmine Rice, and I'm a junior at Lincoln Sudbury Regional High School. As part of the MECO program, I've been a MECO student for 9 years, and the MECO program is near and dear to my heart. I want to thank everyone who nominated me for this award, and I want to thank Ms. Holden over there for exclusively nominating me for the award. Diversity, equity, and inclusion mean a lot to me because that's how you make a good community. If you have a community of people who look and think like each other, you have no diversity. If you have a community where one person's superior and the other one's inferior, that's not equitable. And if you have a community that excludes a person based on what they look like, that is not inclusive. These thoughts cross my mind when I think of the community I want to create with my peers. In June 2021, I came up with the idea to revamp the Juneteenth celebration at my school. I wanted the celebration to be fun and inclusive so that everyone could experience it. Having a fun event is important to me, but I want my peers to be a part of something that may be different than what they're used to. The following year, me and my friends and I helped put together this celebration. There was food, music, and games. We had a guest speaker, George Mumford. He worked with the Chicago Bulls during the prime time and Kobe Bryant. This was a very fun event. Everyone was invited, and it just inspired me to continue to do what I'm doing. This year, I planned a Black History Month event, started a club called a Unity Club with my friend Bella, and I'm participating in a documentary focusing in on belonging. I feel strongly about being comfortable with who you are, no matter where you come from, what you look like, or what you identify as. So congratulations to us all, and thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Now we'd like to invite Shaylee Cifuentes Ortiz from Marlboro High School to come to the podium.
Good morning, everyone. I want to say a quick thank you to my family and Wayman. Thank you for helping me throughout all of these years in high school. It's an honor being here with all of you guys today. To start, diversity is the quality of including individuals regardless of their differences. This can be their ethnic background, religion, age, gender, skills, and opinions. Diversity is such an important aspect of our society today because being able to work with people that have different views helps you obtain a greater understanding and prompts us to change the way we view certain aspects of life and challenges that might arise. The ability to connect with all types of people despite the differences among one another is very important in order to create a strong community. There are 8.1 billion people living all over the world. Isn't it crazy that every one of those individuals have their own distinctive qualities that make them who they are? Each of them have their own fingerprint, DNA, and much more that are unique to only them. Everyone is different from one another, and that's what makes all of us special. We all have something to teach and learn from each other. There are so many individuals that have gone through different experiences from us, but those experiences is what helps us grow as individuals, and being able to share those lessons is what brings us together as one. That is the beauty of diversity. When we all come together as one, we are able to learn from one another and create a stronger and more united community. I have been granted the privilege of giving leadership to a group of people at my church, which has made me really learn the true meaning of inclusion. Inclusion means to be able to see the potential within other people and be able to include them in something much bigger. Being a leader means you have to have a one-on-one relationship with those within your group so you can have a deeper understanding of their thoughts and actions. In my time of being a leader, I have learned many valuable things, one of them being that every individual is different from one another. This can vary from the way they act, talk, learn, feel, and more. Not everyone's the same, and some have different ways of grasping certain aspects. This is why I have learned to be a good influence and role model to those who look up and learn things from me. From this, I have been able to include everyone and create a welcoming atmosphere where everyone feels loved and seen. Equity to me means being able to give an individual the support that they specifically need to reach their goal. Like I mentioned before, everyone has different limitations and challenges that they have to overcome. This means they need different tools to other people in order to face those adversities and come out stronger in the end. The meaning of equity is often overlooked because society wants everyone to get the same type of help, but this should not be the case. Everyone has their own story, and in order for them to reach their ultimate goal, they will need different tools to others. We are all capable of having a positive impact on one another, but we have to find the desire within ourselves to execute it correctly and create a united community where all are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Shaylee. I'd now like to invite Ikra Farah from Natick High School.
Hi everyone, I'm Ikra Farah. I want to thank my guidance counselor who wasn't able to make it today, Ms. Gardner, who supported me through all my challenges. I also want to thank my mother and my father who pushed me to be a leader early on. And I appreciate you all for coming here today as we delve into the topic that resonated with me, especially during my time in Natick, diversity and inclusion. Initially, when I got the news that my family would be moving to Natick, I was ecstatic. Transferring from my current middle school was a great choice. We toured the middle school in Natick, and I would be attending it. I was counting down the days until that time. There was so much space, so much people, and so many resources. It seemed like the picture-perfect school. As any middle schooler would expect, establishing connections proved to be a difficult task, specifically in the light of pre-existing social cliques. There wasn't a student who resembled me in any of my classes. I always felt like the odd one out. I also couldn't help to notice that my academic performances were always underestimated. Navigating the role of the new student wasn't a good experience. I found myself especially attentive to my looks, under the impression that it was the only way to gain social acceptance. The days where I needed to find a seat at lunch stand out vividly in my memory. I felt a feeling of obvious isolation and a sense of being on display. Sitting down with girls who seemed friendly always backfired. As I opened my lunchbox filled with cultural food, the whispers and giggles they shared as I sat with them reminded me of my outsider status. However, upon deeper reflection, I came to understand that the issue wasn't with me, nor was it with the students around me, but rather with a collective tendency to opt towards what we're familiar with and conform to social norms. Transferring from my former middle school, where resources were scarce and the environment reflected struggle, to Natick public schools was a big shift. There were many issues at my previous school, however, there was something special about the diversity and inclusivity there. Moving to a place where everything seemed perfect on the surface, friendly staff, plenty of resources, I still couldn't shake the feeling of not belonging. It was like the essence of what made my old school special was missing. It made me realize just how important diversity and inclusivity are in shaping a truly fulfilling educational experience. So, while those moments I was alone in the lunchroom or classroom initially made me feel isolated and misunderstood, it ultimately became a catalyst for embracing my identity and advocating for a more inclusive, diverse world, one where everyone, regardless of race, gender, or background, has the opportunity to shine and thrive. When I arrived at high school, I co-founded the Black and Hispanic Student Union and entered the program ACES, where I would be able to help students excel academically, and I hope to continue helping students and make their high school experience as good as mine. Thank you all for the opportunity to share these reflections with you today.
Thank you, Ikra. And now we'd like to ask Angelica Duarte from St. Mark's School to join us at the podium.
Good morning. I want to begin by thanking my parents for allowing me to expand and grow outside of the box. I'd also like to thank my advisor, Ms. Belt and Mr. Da Silva, for helping me reach higher goals and pushing me to new limits at St. Mark's. Standing before you all today, it's easy to give a fabricated answer of what diversity, equity, and inclusion means to me, as I'm coming from a predominantly white institute. As the only female identifying student of my ethnicity at St. Mark's, I have learned to give the lighthearted response of what it means to be part of community and feel included within it, even when I didn't. Although sometimes diversity and equity fall short in educational environments such as mine, I am beyond proud of the work and progress we have done in the C&E office this year, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities that St. Mark's has allowed for me to grow as an individual and support my community in growing alongside of me. I never had a full grasp of what diversity, equity, or inclusion meant until attending St. Mark's. Coming from Hudson Public Schools with a friend group who all identified the same as me in terms of ethnicity, I didn't give much thought into what diversity was. The only kind of diversity I was familiar with was racial diversity, and even then we didn't speak much about it in school. After transferring to St. Mark's and taking a class led by Dr. Colleen Worrell called Social Justice in Local and Global Context, I was able to grapple with new concepts such as intersectionality, systemic racism, ableism, and more. By doing so, I was able to develop my social justice literacy and broaden my understanding of my own identity and of those around me. I believe that diversity resembles variety in differences. Diversity allows for things to be categorized by its differences. When someone mentions diversity, the first thought tends to be race, but I believe there can be a variety within other areas of your life. For example, the diversity of the St. Mark's student body. When looking at it from a larger lens, we have local Southborough Day students, but we also have students from across the world living in our institute. The differences in variety between our students' body allow for the students to gain new intellectual perspectives and open doors that they may otherwise would have kept shut if they hadn't met a new person or expanded out to a new group rather than being surrounded by the same type of people all the time. In regard to equity, I believe it's the process of being fair. I'm sure you've all heard the saying, "I won fair and square." Well, this unfortunately doesn't apply to life, as sometimes things aren't fair, and you may be at a disadvantage because of societal standards. To elaborate on this, I want to paint a picture of you all of something we were shown in our social justice class. In the image, there were two boys. One was shorter while the other was taller. The boys were at a baseball field, and they were attempting to watch a game. The tall boy did so effortlessly, while the short boy was having some difficulty looking just above the fence. Ultimately, the taller boy finds a box that the shorter boy can stand up on. And the point of me sharing the story is that by making the boy equal heights, when I envision equity, I think about how we are able to help those around us who are at a disadvantage get to the same starting line as others on the playing field. Inclusion also fits in here as it's the action or state of including or being included within a group. By including those around you, you're allowing for them to be and feel seen by their community. Sometimes, because of systemic implementations or other factors, those around you are made to feel secluded. But by being the change, you can help them feel seen. Thank you.
Let's have a round of applause for those speakers. Just to backtrack for a minute, I see that Xavier De Leon has arrived, and so I just wanted to invite him up to receive his award. I would now like to invite Peter Chisholm to the podium. Peter is a board member of the Alliance and an administrator at Framingham State University. And Peter's going to offer a few words about Framingham State University and its special support of this program. Peter?
Thank you. What a great group of students here today. And we at Framingham State are particularly proud. In the awards that you received this morning, you'll see there's a scholarship offer from us. We've been doing this for several years, and one of the first recipients of it was a young lady named Patricia Sanchez, who had studied at Keefe Tech. She came and she attended the 4 years. I used to see her on campus periodically, and then she graduated and went off. Several years later, I saw her again on campus. I asked, "Are you visiting campus? What are you doing here?" She told me then her title now was Dr. Patricia Sanchez, and she was a professor of sociology. So it shows you never know where you go to school, what you study. You can just, how far you can go. If you put the effort into it, you can achieve anything. And I also want to note the student, young lady from Medco who spoke, I went back to ask her, she lives from Boston. She gets up every morning at 5:30, takes a bus to the school, goes back to Boston at 5 o'clock at the end of the day. That's more hours in a day than I work. I mean, it's amazing. You know, she had a 12-hour day, a kid in high school. But as Betsy said, we're very proud to support the program. I've been on the board for a number of years, and you can't underestimate education, the value of an education. So we invite you to read the letters from Framingham and hope you might consider coming. I also want to recognize today our president, Dr. Nancy Nemi. She came to Massachusetts a couple of years ago from Maryland. And in my first meeting with her, I said, I'm on this committee for a prayer breakfast, and we do this. The first thing she said to me was, I've seen some notes about it, keep the scholarship, and we're going to give it every year. So I'm pleased to say that's what we're doing. And I just want to ask her to please stand so you all know who she is. So if you apply to Framingham, you know to approach her and say, you know the president. And thank you all today, and congratulations again to all the students.
Thanks, Peter. So we've come to the end of our morning. I hope that you will take away some of the pearls of wisdom that our student honorees have given us. It's always interesting what we hear. We never know what we're going to hear. We don't know a lot about every student's story other than what you see in your program and their nomination. But the insights that they have are rather profound, and it's nice to be in a space where we can take the time to listen to such insights, and they give us a lot to think about. I want to thank also our sponsors who have sponsored tables today for the breakfast. Thank you. We can't do it without your support, and we appreciate your support and you being here. And after the final song and blessing, I would ask all the students to come up to the front so we can take pictures. So now I'm going to invite Maria Wardwell back to the podium to sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains, through the prairies, through the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Maria. And finally, I invite the Reverend J. Anthony Lloyd of the Greater Framingham Community Church to offer the benediction.
I would ask all our honorees, won't you come forward? Join me on the stage. All our honorees today. Yes, let's give them a standing ovation here. Wonderful. Come on up here. Enlarge the space. Mm-hmm. Good, 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 good. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Come on up here. Wonderful. Great. We want to all get you all together in one spot so we can see what you look like. Let me share with you that we honor ourselves when we honor you. And we have listened to your stories of what you have already contributed. And in doing so, you inspire us and you, in essence, remind us that our future is in good hands, in your hands. And we thank you for that. Indeed, we've honored you today because you have understood and put your shaping to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And our times in this world calls for your presence, for you to walk into some spaces, do it unapologetically, walk into that space and honor that space. Walk in, yes, being the embodiment of diversity, equity, and inclusion. At times, you'll have to knock through some doors to get in. Other times, climb through some windows as well. And when you get in there, not only do you understand that you belong at that space, that you have a space at the table, that your voice is to be heard, but and also that you might, yes, change structures that exist that work against diversity, equity, and inclusion. And in the process, remember that there are others that come behind you. Ensure that they have an opportunity to come through as well. And so in the intersectionality between diversity, equity, and inclusion, may you own that space. And in so doing, make a difference. Do so knowing full well there'll be moments when you're called to be a disruptor of the times and spaces you find yourself in. Know full well as you do so that you're called to create spaces that is safe for everyone, not necessarily comfortable. For safe and comfortable do not equate. And in fact, you know already that in those edges and places where it's uncomfortable is where we do our most learning. Occupy it and live it out. To those in the room, thank you for all you do to support them and have supported them to this place. They need you as they continue to go forward. And in doing so, once again, when we honor them, we honor ourselves. Thank you so much for coming, and congratulations.
Well, we've got the students up here, so that's great. So this is the ultimate photo op going on up here. So if people want to take pictures, come on forward. Thank you for coming, and have a lovely day.